Of the Ombudsman for long-term insurance recovered 184.4 million rand in the form of lump sums for consumers from long-term insurance companies during 2015, and complainants received more than 527,000 rand in compensation for poor service. Now, this is according to a report that was released by the office last night. The report states these amounts do not include income benefits, annuity payments, and the value of non-monetary benefits. Officials say the office plays a vital role in dispute resolution, providing consumers with an independent, free service when they feel they are not treated fairly by insurance companies. So let's elaborate a little bit more on this, and to talk to us about the report and its findings, we are joined in studio by the Deputy Ombudsman, Jennifer Preiss. Jennifer, good to have you. Welcome to the program. All right, let's go a little bit more into it, and a brief synopsis of what was contained in the annual report.
So we received about 9,000 requests for assistance, and those turned into around about 5,000 actual cases. What we do when we receive a complaint, if the insurer hasn't had the opportunity to have a look at the complaint, we send it on, and sometimes it's settled right at that point. But if not, we then investigate the complaint. Yeah. And we get the comments from both parties, not only the complainant, but also the insurer. And then we try and resolve it either through conciliation, or if that fails, then we'll actually make a determination.
Yeah. In terms of what this says about insurance companies in South Africa, I mean, what can we read into it?
Well, over the last few years, we haven't actually seen a growth in complaints to our office. So I think what is happening is that insurers are beginning to take complaints more seriously. There's an initiative by the Financial Services Board called TCF, or Treating Customers Fairly, and insurers are beginning to really pay attention to people when they complain. Yeah. So I think that is good news. There will always be disputes, and that is what we're there for. But I think insurers, not all of them, but most of them are taking complainants more seriously.
I mean, according to the report, we see that there'd been a steady increase in the number of unreasonable complainants and in the number of complex complaints against long-term insurers. Talk to me about this. What does that mean?
I think because products are becoming more complex, and in South Africa we have very complex insurance products, the complaints become more complex. And then if you combine that with a complainant who is really persistent, it can drag out the complaint. And we're finding, and it's an international trend, that there are more and more persistent complainants. If they don't get what they want, they won't go away. Yeah. So they keep on and shower you with papers. And if they don't get what they want at our office, they go to the Financial Services Board, they write to the Office of the President. They just don't take no for an answer.
Is it a good or a bad thing? I mean, I suppose in years gone by, we've been described as a very complacent nation. It seems like we're not that complacent anymore.
Well, I think most of us are still fairly complacent, but there's certainly a small group that are not. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing in itself to complain. It's when you can't be reasonable about it, that's when it becomes a problem for our office.
Yeah. So, I mean, the purpose of the Ombudsman, is it for these complaints? Is it if you feel that you've been treated unfairly and things are not working, that's when we approach you?
Yes. And unlike the courts, we have an equity jurisdiction or fairness jurisdiction. So we don't only look at the law and the contract, we can also look at fairness. And yes, if complainants feel that they're not being treated fairly, this is the place to come.
Yeah. Just finally, how far is your office with engaging with the Minister of Finance regarding the financial sector regulation bill? And what is your office's general feeling about this bill?
Well, the bill is being discussed by National Treasury with us. We're going to be seeing them shortly again. So they do consult us and the other Ombudsman's offices. So we're very pleased about that. And we don't have a problem with what is being proposed at the moment. So it depends on what the bill is going to look at the end of the process, because there are still changes to come. But we are engaged with National Treasury on it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for talking to us and just giving us a little bit more clarity on the insurance, long-term insurance industry. I mean, just to recap it, it's Deputy Ombudsman Jennifer Preiss speaking to us about the Ombudsman having recovered now. It's the long-term insurance recovering 184.4 million rand in the form of lump sums for consumers from long-term insurance companies during 2015, and complainants received more than 527,000 rand in compensation for the poor. So for poor service. So that's the summary of what the report has.